Good morning. Welcome back. We're hearing that some clients, some places are actually renting their accommodation out to MSD for something like $450 a week. Work that out over a $450 a night. Work that over a week. That's $3,000 a week for a house. Now, someone's really making some money out of this. Travis, good morning.
Good morning, Nick. I'm glad we're actually talking about this because I've stayed in specifically the setup on Manners Street a few years ago for a little bit.
How many years ago, Travis?
This would have been not last year, year before.
Okay, so recent history.
Yes. And I have to tell you, I was really, I don't have enough expletives to describe how appalled I was at the cost that the setup was charging to the taxpayer. Let's not say the government, the taxpayer, everyone in the country, $990 a week for a 10-foot by 6-foot, effectively a cell. And yeah, I was truly shocked at that. And I made, I obviously made a super effort to get out of there as quickly as I could. It was unreal to me that this was how everything was rigged up. And it just seems to me as though there are companies out there that just do these things, make these emergency housing things, because they know they just ream the government for whatever they want. And it seemed to me like there was possibly a limit of like $1,000 a week in my case or whatever. So they were charging right up to the line, $990 a week for just unbelievable. And the stuff that goes on there is pretty shocking, and I don't think you'd be surprised.
Well, tell me, I see what it's like on the streets around the area, so tell me what it's like actually in the buildings. Well,
in that particular building, the setup, so there was no external window to the outside world. There was a window. I'm just going to reference one specific incident here. There's one tiny window that is restricted to, you can open it an inch, basically, which goes to like an airway, which is closed in on the inside of the building. And then there's another window at the end of this, effectively a hallway, that can only be opened a little tiny bit. So there's no fresh air. It's absolutely disgusting. And what happened to me when I was there's many things, but one specific incident, like I said, there was a guy across this little airway in a different room, and he was smoking all sorts of stuff and like spraying like the most horrific, like Lynx deodorant to try and cover the smell and stuff. And I was actually going insane from this because I had no fresh air. By the way, there's a few people that I recognise coming up to visit, tenants, you might say, in the building who were known criminal drug dealers in Wellington kind of thing. I passed in the hallway at, 2 a.m. type of thing, which is never what you want.
Wow.
But, I'm obviously grateful that the government has gone to some effort here, but at the same time, there's something very, very wrong. And you might say, well, no one will provide emergency housing if there's no benefit to them doing so.
Yeah, that's the issue I have with it.
$1,000 for a cell is not what you want.
No. That's the issue, though, we got, Travis. How many people would rent their houses out or their apartments out or their places out to emergency housing with exactly what you said going on, drug dealing and, other naughty things going on? Everyone talks about it. You just got to walk down the streets or anywhere near that area in Wellington and you can see it for yourself out on the street. So heaven knows what it's like actually in the accommodation.
Well, and I do know firsthand, but it kind of blows my mind that they're basically given a base for a lot of people who, let's face it, to use a polite euphemism here, are antisocial personalities, let's say. They've given them a base right in the heart of the nightlife of our town, which is, in my view, dying. You go out in town at night now, it's dead. What's going on? What happened to student night as well? Like that was a huge, I loved student night, and then it's gone.
Do you think that emergency housing in the centre of the city has got something to do with that?
Has got something to do with
the fact that the town's dying?
Yeah, because I think that especially like I can, again, first-hand experience. In my case, I don't like going out there at night because these people are There's antisocial personalities that have that base right there. They're pushing off, going out into town and not making it a nice place to be at night a lot of the time.
Wow. So what's your advice to MSD?
I don't have any. I just wanted to give you some first-hand knowledge of what's going on here, because like I said, when I got the costs, when I realised what was going on, I was appalled. I was like absolutely blown away that for what I had access to, they were just reaming the New Zealand taxpayer $1,000 a week, and it's just something needs to change, because that cannot continue. I don't think. I mean, you know, all this thing going on with inflation and cost of living and stuff. Well, we're pissing money away where we shouldn't be.
Well, it's costing us, the taxpayer, $1 million a day. So that's 365 million a year. I mean, when you put it like that.
What happens if you put $1 million a day into healthcare, schooling? I mean, in my view, like I think, for example, healthcare in this country is going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets better, because what we keep doing is we keep packing people in without expanding the infrastructure and support services to support those people. And it's just going to get run into the ground by overloading it. And we see this with nurses being unhappy with the workloads they have and all the rest of this. $1 million a day for emergency housing. So you're saying $360+ million a year.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, yikes, Travis. Thanks for your call, and it's great to hear it firsthand. Travis actually lived in emergency housing. $990 a week for a cell, he called it. Not me, he called it a cell. NewstalkZB. It is 22 minutes past 10. Wellington Morning.